If you're trying to create an ideal audience avatar for your marketing, what we're trying to do is we're really trying to create a profile of a real human being that represents our ideal audience. While that's really important is because as marketers, then we can start having conversations of like, what does Amy want? So what would Amy think of this? What's going to resonate to her? That's going to make it much easier for you as a human being who's responsible for marketing to be able to pressure test your content, to look at your plan and go, are we taking Amy on the right journey? Is she hearing the stories she needs to hear? Is she getting the answers to the questions she needs answered? So there's usually 5 main categories of things that I would call as kind of fundamental elements of an ideal audience profile. The first one of those is the one that most people lean into, and that's our specific demographics. So that's when I'm going to state things like, aside from what's her name, I'm also going to go, is it male, female, non-binary, etc. So racial background, religious background. So are they Caucasian? Are they not? Are they, Muslim, or they're Christian, or they're non-religious? Where do they live? What type of house do they live in? Who do they live with? All those kind of physical demographic kind of things. Occupation, how much money they earn, what they studied at university, if they went to university. Those kind of information is more factual demographic basis. I try to keep this as narrow as possible. Sure, they might be a nurse or a teacher or a healthcare worker or this, but what are they most likely? What best fits our profile of that particular person? Second, I'm going to get into more narrowing their location. So things like the geographical location, the socioeconomic status, anything that kind of narrows that audience a little bit more. So they're that group, but they also live within 10 minutes of the Northern Beaches in Sydney, or they live within central London, or whatever it is that is specific to my organization, or they're all over a certain state or a country or multiple countries, for example. And socioeconomic, are they higher income, lower income? Things like that are really good to understand because that can narrow down our audience a lot more. The third thing I look at is what sets them apart. So what is unique about that person? So demographics tend to give us a huge category of people. So we've got women between the ages of 40 and 50 who live in a certain state, who are married. That's still a huge number of people with really different motivations and priorities and situations. So then I start to go, well, what is it that is specific about them that makes them suitable for my audience? Are they thinking about getting a divorce? That suddenly narrows down that group quite significantly. Are they experiencing a particular health issue, or do they have a challenge with their kids, or are they thinking about having kids for the first time, or anything that makes them specifically yours? They're widowed, whatever it might be. The next thing I look at is, which is point 4, it's what do they do? So this is when I get into like, where do they go? What are their hobbies and interests? What kind of products do they buy? What podcasts do they listen to? Like, where can I find these people? Where else are they going? Where else are they spending their time? Because they're places I can communicate them to them. Are they sports mad, or are they creative types? These things can really narrow down where are we going to find these people and how are we going to tell our story to them? Finally, point 5, I look at the intersection between our profile and the organization. So why do they want to work with you? Why are you going to be able to solve their problem? What things are going to move them towards you? So what are the things about your product, your program, your service that are super attractive to that person versus the opposite? What are the things that are going to move them away from you? What are the things that are going to turn them off about what you have? And that's really important to manage as well. So hopefully those 5 elements, if you can brainstorm and really think about those and how they intersect with your ideal audience, you will have all the skills and information you need to create a really good ideal audience profile. If you need some more help with that, you can definitely check out my Training Vault program, where I share all my in-depth courses, templates, tools, and resources on how to create your ideal digital marketing strategy for your nonprofit or organization in 2024 in our current market. Hope that was useful. Look forward to chatting to you about another pressing topic soon.